Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Our next weather maker is this front crossing the area right now. It will bring us a drop in temperatures this afternoon, and then a second front over the weekend will bring some Arctic air into the region.
Flight cuts. Today we'll learn more about how the government shutdown could affect your holiday travel, how a plan to cut flights nationwide may cause chaos at the airport, plus more mental health beds. Today, WakeMed will break ground on a new campus in Gardner, how it'll help serve a growing need in the Triangle. All right, we're almost there to Friday, folks. Thanks for waking up with us here your Thursday morning on WRAL News. I'm Chris Lovingood. We'll start off with the weather situation outside Elizabeth. It's actually a little warmer this morning waking up.
It is. It's going to be a little bit confusing because it's warmer this morning with temperatures in the 50s, but our cold front's crossing the area right now, and it will deliver some cooler air during the afternoon. So yesterday was just the opposite. It was a cold start, warm morning, cooler afternoon is what we're going to see today. It's clear, though, beautiful out there. The moon was full yesterday, but it's still hanging around out there looking gorgeous. 49 is our temperature right now in the Triangle, and our winds are calm. Some 50s, too, out across most of the area. 53 Southern Pines, 53 in Rocky Mounts, 54 in Roxborough, and 58 in South Hill. So these temperatures are running anywhere from 5 to almost 20 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. Our hour-by-hour forecast, though, instead of making it into the mid-70s, which was glorious yesterday, will be about 10 degrees cooler in the mid-60s. It does warm up for the weekend, and we have a very powerful front that'll come through to bring us some very cold temperatures early next week. I'll show you that coming up.
It was, in fact, glorious yesterday. All right, thank you, Elizabeth. The longest government shutdown in history is now in its 37th day, and today we'll learn how it could affect your upcoming travel plans. The FAA plans to announce its list of airports facing major flight cuts, and we'll learn whether that includes RDU. The agency says it will be canceling 10% of all flights at 40 of the nation's busiest airports. That's if the shutdown doesn't end by tomorrow. The FAA says TSA agents and air traffic controllers are fatigued after a month without pay, and safety is also at risk. We caught up with travelers at RDU who told us this news frustrates them.
I think that's going to be bad news for a lot of people that have to travel, whether it's emergency for family issues or work. So I hope they figure it out by then.
The FAA says it will be looking closely at the data, and even deeper cuts are possible if the shutdown drags on. The Trump administration now says people who receive SNAP benefits will get more money this month than previously announced. Benefits will now go out at 65% of the regular rate, and that's up from the 50% it first announced. Let's go ahead and bring in WRAL's Ali Kadlabar. She's at the Interfaith Food Shuttle Farm in Raleigh. And Ali, today, that organization, they're going to host a food fest of some sort to help these people in need right now.
Yes, and the solution on food insecurity as well, Chris. Last night, the Interfaith Food Shuttle, they showed organizations from across the nation their own farm. And today, they're going to be talking about how to make food like this more accessible. Now, the Interfaith Food Shuttle is bringing together local farmers, food banks, and healthcare providers and organizations from across the nation. They're going to be talking about ways to remove barriers for the hungry in the community. Now, this comes at a time when food banks are seeing a spike in demand. The government shutdown suspended SNAP benefits and other essential food security programs. And even though the state health department says people will receive part of those SNAP benefits next week, the CEO and president of the Interfaith Food Shuttle says families are still having to ask themselves tough questions.
Make a choice. Of your children, which one are you going to feed tonight? Which one of your children are you going to give food? Those are the type of choices that so many families have to make right here in North Carolina.
And of course, with this conference, they're hoping to find solutions to that question. And also, the conference runs today and tomorrow. They're hoping to find those solutions. We're going to keep you updated. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Today, a step toward more mental health resources in Wake County. WakeMed will break ground on a new hospital focused on those needs. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at that site in Gardner. And Kelsey, medical leaders say this is such a much-needed expansion.
Yes, Chris, there's a critical need this morning. Wake Med will break ground on these 53 acres here behind me. The area will be transformed into a new mental health hospital. We'll show you some video now. This land that's across the street from White Oak Crossing will be the home of the new health campus. Wake Med sees an average of 1,200 patients every month for mental health needs. About 400 of them require inpatient care. Right now, there are only enough beds for about half of those patients. Hospital leaders say this new campus could help fill in the gap.
If someone showed up in the emergency room with a heart attack or a broken leg, and we said, hey, great, thanks for coming in, that'll be 2 weeks before you get to treatment, that's really unheard of. But that's what happens every single day for someone who's experiencing a mental health challenge.
And the groundbreaking is scheduled for this morning at 10 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Garner.
We're looking for updates in that deadly UPS plane crash investigation in Louisville, Kentucky. Authorities say the plane's left engine caught fire during takeoff and detached, and that caused the crash. NTSB recovered the black boxes from that crash that you see here on your screen. 12 people are confirmed dead, including a young child, and 2 others are in critical condition, and 16 people are missing. Coroners are working to identify the victims. In fact, both Duke and UNC's field hockey teams are in Louisville for the ACC tournament. Their game was postponed, and they'll now play each other at 11 o'clock this morning. Governor Josh Stein is doubling down. He refuses to send National Guard troops to Charlotte. Representative Mark Harris and other state lawmakers sent a letter to him about this. They demand he send Guard troops to help with what they're calling crime in Charlotte. The letter ends with this statement asking why the government refuses to do it. Well, we reached out to the governor's office for a response, and they told us this, quote, local well-trained law enforcement officers who live in and know their communities are best equipped to keep North Carolina neighborhoods safe, not military service members. One goal of Durham Police Department's new real-time crime center is to solve crimes faster. The department wants the public's input on a partnership with a third-party company called Peregrine Technologies. Raleigh Police already has a contract with that company. Peregrine does not collect new data. Instead, it brings all of Durham's data under one umbrella to help police respond more quickly and effectively to crime.
We take data from all the different places it may sit within Durham PD, bring it together, and offer a single view of that data such that any member of the police department can make use of it to respond to a 911 call, solve a crime, create a crime strategy, report out to the public.
Durham Police and Peregrine held a town hall meeting last night to answer any questions about the technology, and we have the full schedule of the remaining town halls on WRAL.com. Happening today, Durham leaders want to hear from you about a plan to permanently close part of Haytai Lane. That's east of Old Fayetteville Street. The proposal would shut down part of that road, and you can share your thoughts about this during the Citizens Matter session at 1 p.m. today. Covering Lee County, I should say, the government center will be closed to the public for days because of a scheduled power outage. It'll be closed from Friday until Tuesday, and this affects the public health, social services, and tax department. Limited in-person services will be available at alternative locations. The government center will reopen on Wednesday. North Carolina will receive more federal funding for Tropical Storm Helene relief. Homeland Security approved $155 million for people who the storm affected across the Southeast. But it's not clear how much of that money is for North Carolina. Governor Josh Stein celebrated that move, but said more work needs to be done. Actually, getting funding to North Carolina, it hasn't been easy. We outlined that struggle between the state and the federal government over recovery money. It was the subject of our latest documentary, Helene, What We Lost, What We Found. You can watch that on WRAL's YouTube page. The Trump administration is sending $24 million to countries that were damaged during Hurricane Melissa. That breaks down to $12 million for Jamaica, $8.5 million for Haiti, $3 million for Cuba, and $500,000 for the Bahamas. The money will be used for housing, water, food, sanitation, and emergency health care. This morning, we're getting an up-close look at repair efforts in Baltimore after that bridge collapse last year. The piles are being driven into the bed of the river there, and that's where they want to put the foundation. 2 of the East Coast's largest rotating cranes are at that site of the rebuild. Engineers say they have driven 8 of the 12 piles so far, and the foundation phase of the project should be completed in early January. Time is 4:39. Raleigh motel sued. A woman says the owners knew she was being sex trafficked as a minor and even helped the traffickers. By victim advocates say her story is unfortunately common. And lung cancer rates. North Carolina is above the national average. The group of people considered high risk for the disease. And it's a cool start, but a little warmer compared to yesterday morning as we're giving you a live look over Clinton. Coming up, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will show us the warm-up and the potential wet weekend ahead.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
4:43, here is a beautiful sight. Look at that, the big, beautiful moon. Now, yesterday it was full, but it still looks absolutely gorgeous. Maybe you've already seen it. If you haven't, run outside and take a look out the window. We do have the top of the tower lit in blue this morning for clear skies. It's going to be a gorgeous day today, but it's not going to feel exactly like yesterday. Yesterday it was really, really warm. Our temperatures are mild this morning. It's 53 in Wilson, 49 in Durham, 52 in Fayetteville. But a cold front is crossing the area right now, and that will bring us some cooler temperatures this afternoon. Town by town, 52 in Fayetteville, 49 in Durham, 52 in Garner. So it feels nice and comfortable out there. You don't need your big, heavy coat this morning. So grab that lighter jacket heading out the door. But remember that we will end up with potential for some warmer temperatures, some cooler temperatures, I should say, this afternoon. If your kid likes to walk or ride their bike to school, temperatures, again, upper 40s to around 50. It'll be cool this afternoon in the mid 60s. We do actually warm up a bit over the weekend, but we have some rain in the forecast. I'll show you when coming up.
A woman accuses the staff at a Motel 6 in Raleigh of not only knowing she was sex trafficked as a minor, they helped the traffickers. The motel is on Appliance Drive, and the lawsuit states the victim was advertised online and numerous men and women sexually abused her. It also alleges motel staff acted as lookouts and alerted the traffickers to police activity. These allegations are a violation of several North Carolina laws. Those require property managers and establishments to have procedures to report human trafficking and teach employees how to spot this.
There's a national survivor study that Polaris put out some years ago. And in that study, survivors self-reported that 75% of them had encountered hotels during their exploitation. And that makes sense when we think about, especially with sexual exploitation, that usually occurs on site at the hotels.
Is demanding a jury trial and is also seeking an undisclosed amount in damages. A former state elections official accused of trying to drug his granddaughter's ice cream must now wear an ankle monitor. Prosecutors say that James Yoakley also tried to contact his granddaughter despite a court order. His lawyers claim he was at his daughter's home moving things while the granddaughter was at school. A judge changed his release order so that Yoakley is not allowed near the alleged victims' homes. Yoakley resigned as Surrey County's elections chair shortly after his summer arrest. The State Board of Education is meeting today on some policies that could affect your child's school. Today, they're going to go over policies they plan to send to lawmakers. State Superintendent Mo Green will also present his findings after touring schools across the state. Today's meeting is the final day of a 3-day work session. New American Lung Association data says every 2 minutes, someone in the United States is diagnosed with lung cancer. The report found North Carolina sees more lung cancer diagnoses than the national average. Now, despite having a higher risk, the report found less than 20% of North Carolinians at high risk were screened.
We really need to protect, insurance coverage and access to affordable health care for those patients in rural areas.
High risk is defined as a person between 50 to 80 years old with 20 or more years of heavy smoking. Tobacco use remains the leading risk factor. All right, swinging over to our weather forecast today. Quick shout out to our viewers. We've been telling them to send us photos of the supermoon at WRAL.com/report it, and they have showed up and shown out. It's awesome.
So beautiful, isn't it? So this one's from Larry Smith in Morrisville. Absolutely gorgeous. It was full yesterday morning, but of course last night it still looked really, really beautiful. So thanks for sending them yesterday, today. We've really enjoyed seeing them. This one's from Frankie Goodwin from Willow Spring. A very professional camera there for sure. And then I love this one. That moon. This looks like it was last night. I was out on a mountain bike ride, came out of the woods at like 5:15, and this is what it looked like. It was all orange with a few clouds. This is Carl Morris from Pikeville. So thanks for sending those. Go to WRAL.com/report it. Send us your photos of the moon or anything else you have going on in your backyard. We have clear skies this morning over RDU, and it's not as cold as yesterday. 49 is our current temperature. It's in the 50s in a lot of places too. 53 Southern Pines, 51 Goldsboro, 56 in South Hill. More widespread 40s right here in the Triangle, 49 in Morrisville, Cary, and Apex. It's 49 in Raleigh, 49 in Wake Forest as well. So around town today, it's going to be cooler than yesterday, but we'll see lots of sunshine, not quite as windy. Temperatures will be in the mid-60s to close to 70. If you're headed to the Canes game, it'll be nice weather for tailgating. At 5 o'clock, temperatures will be in the upper 50s, but as you come out of the game, it'll be chilly. Temperatures in the upper 40s. Plus, it's chilly in there. I mean, you're going to wear a jacket anyway, right? Our forecast overnight tonight is colder again. 35 in Roxborough, 38 Goldsboro, 42 Fayetteville, upper 30s in the Triangle. So there could once again be some patchy frost, but that's not going to be a widespread freeze. Over the weekend, temperatures bump up a bit, so you can get outside and enjoy. But next week, we are talking about our first hard freeze, some frosty conditions, a whole nother story. We also have the potential for some showers. We could see some showers early on Saturday, and then right now Sunday is trending a little wetter, but high temperatures will be in the mid-70s. Here's our next weather maker that's going to deliver all of that colder air. So we're going to go from Sunday afternoon in the 70s to Tuesday morning at 29. Yes, we're going to see our first 20s of the season. It'll be mild over the weekend, and our normal low is 43. But look at that Tuesday, 29. And here's what it could look like across the area. 27 in Durham, mid-20s in Roxborough and South Hill, 25 in Southern Pines, 29 in Fayetteville. So everybody is likely to see some of that cold air, and temperatures may stay below average for a while. So afternoon highs will be chilly too. The forecast for Monday and Tuesday being Veterans Day, will be only in the low 50s. Chris?
All right, thank you, Elizabeth. Record-breaking hockey. NHL superstar Alex Ovechkin broke another milestone, the goal-scoring record, and when he will face off against the Canes. Plus, leftover pumpkin, a North Carolina farm will help you clean up that fall decor, how you can recycle and gift to local animals. Time this morning is 4:53 as we're giving you a live look outside right now in downtown Raleigh. Pretty calm and clear as we're getting things started on your Thursday. We're almost there to Friday, folks. All right, this guy just can't stop winning. NHL superstar Alex Ovechkin has another milestone under his belt. Last season, Ovechkin broke Wayne Gretzky's all-time record for goals. Remember that? Well, last night, he became the first player in NHL history to score 900 goals in his career. And he scored it in the first period of the Washington Capitals win over the St. Louis Blues. Ovechkin's Capitals will be at Lenovo Center, and they're going to take on the Hurricanes on Tuesday night. Goodness, 900. Wow. All right, just a reminder, you have another chance to try to win close to $1 billion. No one matched all 6 numbers to win the Mega Millions jackpot Tuesday night. And so the jackpot is now up to $843 million, the 8th largest in history. And if you win, you could take home over $391 million in a cash payout. It's not too bad, right? You can watch tomorrow night's drawing on WRAL during our 11 p.m. newscast. A touching documentary about military leadership and sports, plus when you can expect a K-pop Demon Hunter sequel. Here's David Daniel with your Hollywood Minute.
It's time.
K-pop Demon Hunters fans may have to wait a while for the sequel. Bloomberg reports Netflix and Sony are planning to bring out K-pop Demon Hunters 2 in 2029. The animated musical fantasy adventure is Netflix's most popular movie ever, and a sing-along version in theaters topped the weekend box office 2 months after the film debuted on streaming. Dame Helen Mirren has 3 Golden Globes, as well as an Oscar, a Tony, 4 Emmys, and other trophies. Now she's headed back to the Globes. The actress is the 2026 Cecil B. DeMille Lifetime Achievement honoree. She'll receive the prize in a primetime special January 8th on CBS and Paramount+.
He passed away this spring. We felt like the only thing that prepared us for what we've done for the last 15 years in the Army was being a part of this team. You have no fear of what you're about to step into. And in fact, you're confronting it, stepping towards it. Right? That's not normal.
Brothers on 3 looks at the West Point rugby team as young men prepare to be soldiers and leaders in a unique Division I athletic program. The documentary opens in theaters Friday ahead of Veterans Day next week. Locations and more info at brothers3film.com. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, so with Halloween behind us now, you may be trying to figure out what to do with your leftover pumpkins. Well, a family farm in Lenore County is putting those leftovers to good use. Luna Family Farms is taking donated pumpkins to help feed their farm animals. Farm owner Carrie Hines says not only do the animals enjoy pumpkins, but it's also a good way to recycle.
So it's keeping things out of the landfill. Like we like to do a lot of things here. We can recycle and take people's waste and turn them into something that's productive.
Hines says after Christmas, people can also donate their live trees, but only if they haven't been sprayed with any chemicals. She says the goats love to eat those too. Your time this morning is 4:56. Flight cuts. We are giving you a live look at RDU this morning, and we're going to talk about how the ongoing government shutdown could lead to a little travel headache happening across the country ahead of the holidays. And new crash video. Another angle this morning of that UPS cargo plane crash at Louisville's airport. How the crash is having effects on UNC and Duke athletics. Plus, mental health help. A new WakeMed campus will center around mental health care. The groundbreaking expected in Garner today.